Good evening, my friends. This is Paul, and tonight I'm going to be reviewing the special episode DLC of the Switch version of Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Yes, 3DS fans, you will be disappointed to hear that only Switch owners will get this brand new stuff. 3DS owners will just have to contend with mostly a port of the original Wii U version, save for a few new Mario Odyssey levels. So, as you probably guessed by the title, this is not a re-review. I already reviewed this game on the 3DS, and my thoughts mostly have not changed. Now that I played the Switch version for the sake of these bonus levels, I'll give a little bit of thoughts on, what do I think about version differences, but then I'm going to mostly discuss what's new here. So if you're looking for an actual review of the game, check out my original version of the 3DS edition. The graphics are a heck of a lot better on the big screen, and that's about where the positives end for the Switch version over the 3DS. Content-wise, they're both magnificent, but everything just feels like it was custom-made for the 3DS way more than it was for the Switch, and I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo had developed the 3DS version first and just said, you know what, since the Switch is so popular, let's just shoehorn everything into it like they did with so many of their other games. I find that while the motion controls work okay, it stinks that you actually need them in order to cohesively play the game. Now, if you want to play the all-new levels with the Pro Controller, that's totally an option. However, when I watched Gerard Khalil, otherwise known as the Completionist, try to recomplete Captain Toad on the Switch, he complained that playing with the Pro Controller was a nightmare, so I took his advice and just stuck to the Joy-Cons, which I was not a fan of, because I initially had to train my brain to press the ZR trigger instead of the A button, because the pointer feels a lot like the motion controls for Super Mario Galaxy 2's Co-Star mode, and in the original Super Mario Galaxy you had a Wii Remote and you pressed the A button for everything, so having to retrain my brain again was interesting. Also, I felt like the Switch version had things way too zoomed out most of the time. Now I get it, they wanted you to be able to see most of the level, whereas, the 3DS had a smaller screen, so it could afford to be more zoomed in. And that's okay. But what wasn't okay was the fact that they seemed to do this for every level except the one on the minecart. It would have been nice if maybe there was an option to, move the camera inward instead of just up and down. There were quite a few times where I thought a zoomed-in camera would have helped me out a lot in this puzzle. Now, on to the new stuff, because I've rambled on and on about how much I think the 3DS version is much better. So, with the special episode DLC, you get access to 18 chapters in a brand new storybook simply called the Special Episode. It doesn't have any new cutscenes, which is mildly disappointing, but it does feature 18 new chapters. However, only 5 of them are brand new, which I'm going to be showing off all 5 of the new courses for you guys. The rest of them are merely old levels from the original version that are retweaked with new challenges. This was a really huge disappointment for me because the variety of the challenges was staggeringly awful. With the exception of the minecart level and a little twist on the Wingo battle, the only 2 challenges that I encountered in 17 out of 18 challenges, because I couldn't end up getting enough gems for the final challenge, and since this is DLC, I didn't think my completionist requirements had to be that strict. But basically, you either had to shine lights on enough ghosts, or you had to collect the crowns in a certain time limit. The Boo Shining quests were okay. It was a lot of fun to try to find the optimal angle to shine the light on them the best. Although it was slightly annoying having to control 2 toads at a time, which made me even more fed up why this DLC couldn't have been on the 3DS version, because all of the levels that involved more than 2 toads were reworked to only work with 2 on the 3DS version because of technical limitations. So with that being said, all of the challenges that involved the double cherry only let you have up to 2 toads. So those could easily have worked on the 3DS version, no problem, seeing as they ported, the entire Wii U game onto the system, save for the Mario 3D World levels. Anyway, yeah, besides me being triggered by the fact that this could not have been on the 3DS, I would say that the special episode is good. It's a lot more challenging than the main game, though. Granted, getting the star, or in this case now the crown, is usually pretty easy and should only take you a couple of seconds if you know what you're doing. Completing these levels is a whole different ballgame. I was stuck for over 20 minutes just on level 1 of this pack because I really wanted to get all the jewels, but I just could not figure out how to get all of them. And then when the hidden objective came, I said, wait, I didn't know you could do that. So completionists will have a whole lot of stuff to do if they ever pick up this special episode. I'll be really curious to hear the completionist's thoughts on this. Well, I am not a completionist, so all I can say is, good luck, Gerard, if you're watching this. Nevertheless, these new levels are just as well designed as the main game, if not a little bit more. They don't come across as mind-blowing, but then again, you're only paying $6 for this whole package. You also don't have to unlock any of these in the traditional sense. Like, yes, the levels will require you to find enough jewels in the new levels to progress to all of them, but you won't have to meet the main game. If you want to, you can just do like I did. Rent the Switch version, pay $6 on the eShop, and skip straight to the special episode without having to replay the entire experience again. It's basically the same deal as with the Mario Odyssey levels, where you can get them right away, except you don't need the amiibo. You need $6 of cash. And I think your money is well worth it here. These levels are fun, well designed, and with the exception of my gripes about how the motion controls are handled, I think this is a fine package. The lack of variety in the returning levels is definitely a disappointment, and the fact that there's also no new music, from what I heard, is also another disappointment, considering that this came out like about a year after the Switch and 3DS re-release. But still, like I said, for $6, you are not getting a bad deal at all. I loved the original Captain Toad, and I'm glad that they're definitely improving on it. I just wish they would have done the tradition that they've been doing with cross-platform releases since, well, Twilight Princess, making both versions have equal content. Even Breath of the Wild, which was released on both the Wii U and the Switch, had the same DLC. Why this wasn't done for Captain Toad, I don't know. I really don't think it would be that taxing on the horsepower. But apart from that gripe, if you have the Switch version, go for it. You're definitely going to get your money's worth. And if you can't get the 3DS version, you'll still have a pretty good time, just you won't have stereoscopic 3D. And that's not cool. But at least you'll have HD, so I guess that's better than nothing. With that, thank you very much for watching, and until the next time, keep the faith, stay epic, God bless, and don't carry a heavy backpack around. It makes it hard to jump.